After being defeated by Roman Reigns in the main event of SummerSlam on Saturday in a last man standing match for the undisputed Universal Championship, is Brock Lesnar really set to retire from WWE? Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of WWE. And this is a fascinating one because people are speculating a lot about the future of Brock Lesnar after the recent resignation of Vince McMahon. Brock Lesnar walking out of SmackDown a couple of weeks ago, only to return later on that evening. The loss against Roman Reigns this past weekend and his actions after the match, after SummerSlam went off the air, has led a lot of people to speculate what is next for Brock Lesnar. Is he set to actually retire from the world of WWE? So the sight, of course, of Brock Lesnar lifting the WWE wrestling ring with a tractor at SummerSlam will live on in the minds of wrestling fans for years, possibly decades, even more to come. It's an iconic shot, it's an iconic spot, and really, as I mentioned, I've thoroughly enjoyed that main event at SummerSlam. And Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, we've seen the match a million times, but nevertheless, they've got great chemistry. They killed it. Michael Cole on commentary was amazing. As I mentioned, the tractor spot I thought was tremendous. I thought it was fantastic. But there was a post-match moment that viewers watching on Peacock and the WWE Network, watching at home or on pay-per-view, however you watched it, didn't get a glimpse of, but the over 48,000 fans at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee paid witness to. Now, as can be seen on social media, this was all over social media over the course of the last 48 hours or so. Brock Lesnar crawled back into the ring, which was still elevated at this point because of the tractor spot. They still had the corner when it was lifted up. And upon walking to the turnbuckle, Brock Lesnar put on his cowboy hat and did a hat tip, if you will, to thank the lively Nashville crowd. It's a pretty epic spot and it's a pretty epic moment. The clip of Lesnar lifting the tractor earlier on in the Last Man Standing, still to this day, 2 days on from SummerSlam, remains one of the top trending videos across YouTube and social media. And that's just WWE's official footage. The fans at the stadium recorded several videos of the epic moment with several different vantage points and unique camera angles. It really is just a fantastic spot and a fantastic moment. But after this hat tip, after this sort of farewell, if you will, to those in attendance, a lot of people are talking. In the aftermath of Vince McMahon's retirement, several reports suggested that a really frustrated and angry Brock staged a walkout from the company. However, he would subsequently return after reportedly agreeing to a deal of some kind, and it's not a new contract, we don't know if it's a new money or creative, we don't know, but agreeing to a deal with WWE management. Now, some fans on social media are speculating that Lesnar's hat tip was more than just a thank you to the crowd, that it could be an indication that he's taking time off from the company or possibly even retiring from in-ring competition. We'll talk about this in a second. At this point, it's unknown if Lesnar was scheduled to work a match at the coming month's Clash at the Castle event in Wales, of course in Cardiff, Wales at Principality Stadium, scheduled for September. Typically, for these stadium shows, because so much money goes into them, they have to, and they can make so much money and drive so much revenue, WWE tends to pull out all the stops because they need to sell tickets. I mean, they didn't even sell out Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. So it wouldn't be a surprise if Brock does appear at the show in Cardiff. One thing is for certain, though, Lesnar will not be wrestling Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. It will be Drew McIntyre's time to try and dethrone the Tribal Chief on September 3rd. So, as I mentioned, there's been all this speculation. Is Brock going to retire? Is he leaving? Is he done with WWE? Was this his swan song? Because, of course, he's a Vince McMahon guy, and when he did his walkout from WWE, it was, if he's not here, I guess I'm not going to be here. Now, Lesnar's thank you gesture, which he made standing atop of the elevated ring, he rearranged with the tractor, got fans wondering and talking. There was also a feeling on social media, as I mentioned, that Vince McMahon's retirement could lead the beast into following suit and ride it off into the sunset when it comes to WWE. Lesnar has previously referred to McMahon as a father figure, of course, and a person that he is forever indebted to, and he was really the only person that Lesnar negotiated with upon his contracts and his returns and departures and returns and all that kind of stuff from the company. The rumors, of course, as I mentioned, were further amplified by reports that Lesnar staged a walkout from SmackDown following the news that McMahon would be retiring from the company. But it turns out these rumors of Brock Lesnar retiring or leaving WWE or anything like that can appear to be put to rest, because Brock Lesnar will not be retiring anytime soon. That is, if the latest advertisements released by WWE are indeed accurate, because as can be seen on social media, Atlanta State Farm Arena is advertising Brock Lesnar as the marquee name for the WWE Day One Premium Live events. As for next month's Clash at the Castle in Wales, Lesnar isn't advertised for the show as of this recording. That said, as I mentioned, Lesnar is known to work WWE's big stadium shows, so the fact that he's advertised for Day One implies he's still under contract. The fact he's still under contract implies that Lesnar could be booked for that show. It shouldn't come as a surprise if Brock is added to the card for the event at the Principality Stadium. Of course, that isn't the only big show still to come up later this year as we head into the fall. WWE also has an upcoming show in Saudi Arabia, Crown Jewel, on November 5th, and if history is anything to go by, Lesnar is likely to be in Riyadh for the event. Crown Jewel 2022 will be WWE's 8th event in Saudi Arabia as part of a 10-year partnership with the country. Lesnar has worked all 7 of the previous WWE events in Saudi Arabia, although he didn't wrestle at Super Showdown 2019 and only teased cashing in his Money in the Bank contract against then Universal Champion Seth Rollins. The point being, he's appeared on every single show, and he will continue to appear on every single Saudi show. They are the most profitable, they are the biggest revenue drivers of the year for WWE, and they're the biggest paydays for Brock Lesnar. Brock will be on that show. So the fact that Brock's being advertised for Day One implies he's definitely going to be there for the Saudi show. Possibly he could be there at Clash at the Castle as well. If Day One is the next Lesnar sighting, could he then be in the title picture again when 2023 rolls around? At the inaugural, of course, Day One event earlier this year, Lesnar actually won the WWE Championship by defeating then champion Big E, Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens in a 5-way match to capture the WWE Championship, which he then lost to Bobby Lashley at the Royal Rumble, won it back at Elimination Chamber the following month, and then eventually lost it to Roman Reigns in a title unification match at WrestleMania 38. So any concerns that Brock Lesnar is leaving WWE or is retiring can officially be quashed, and that's good. They need him. Cowboy Brock's awesome. I've mentioned this a million times. Since Brock came back this time last year, and he's really lent into this Cowboy Brock gimmick, it's great. Babyface Cowboy Brock is absolutely what. It's fun. And that's what Brock is. Clearly the guy is having fun. And watching him come out at SummerSlam on his tractor, lift up the ring, try and bury Roman Reigns, and it was great. It was great. And again, Brock having fun means the audience has fun. As to who he could face next going forward, you tell me. I have no idea who Brock Lesnar could face going forward. Depends what brand he's on. He's not really linked to any one brand in particular, so who knows? Maybe we'll see a Brock versus Theory. I don't have much interest in seeing that. A Brock versus Cody Rhodes. A Brock versus Seth Rollins once again. A Brock versus Edge, maybe. There's certainly interesting names to be put out there. But let me know your thoughts on the future of Brock Lesnar in the comment section below. Who would you like to see him face off against in the future? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe to Wrestle News 365, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.